Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to look at some news that broke late yesterday that the Division movie is coming to Netflix. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Division is, it's a video game. It's in the Tom Clancy brand of games, which also includes Rainbow Six and Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon and numerous others. So basically, the plot line of the game is that you are an agent that has to go into the boroughs of New York, and you have to contain an area that has been the victim of a biological weapons attack. Um, so the movie for the Division was announced when the first game came out in 2016, I believe. And initially, they had two people that signed on, which were Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, those two people are still signed on, as far as we know. There hasn't been any word that they have left the project, or they have turned down their roles and decided to not participate in the film. In related note, they also have not said that they are going to do the film. They have not done anything recently that they've stated that, at least into the public. So this is going to be interesting because Netflix is kind of they've been greenlighting a lot of stuff lately. And we've seen that with, various things. And I think it's going to be it's one of those things that they're trying to fill the gap that is going to be left when Disney pulls their content, and that also I think that will probably also include the Fox content as well to put on their own streaming service. So Netflix is scrambling right now to try and get more original content on their platform, so that they can then, subs that they have their own stuff to fall back on when they lose all these other properties that Disney is going to basically remove from them. And this seems like one of those things that they're going to dive into the video game type of stuff. Even though The Witcher is a series of novels, most people know it. Majority of people know it from the games. The games from CD Projekt Red. So when they announced the Witcher series, that they're trying to appeal to the gamers and trying to start a new franchise on there. And it seems like they're doing the same thing with the Division. Now, I like the casting of Jessica Chastain because of her work in Zero Dark 30, and Jake Gyllenhaal is another good one because, again, of his work in stuff like Jarhead. So both of those actors know how to kind of play semi-realistic, military types. So that's a good sign. Right now, though, however, nobody else has been signed on to the project, actor-wise. The original director, was Stephen Gaghan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, or Gagan. And he left the project, but he was replaced by the director of Atomic Blonde and Deadpool 2, David Leitch. So since then, they've been gearing up a little bit more. They've been bettering. They're still technically in pre-production, um, but they've been putting a lot more stuff forward. Basically, under this new director, under David Leitch, they've been moving forward steadily until this point where they've stated that the film itself is going to be going to Netflix. Which, again, I find this kind of interesting. Tom Clancy stuff has been adapted to film before. When you look at the Jack Ryan films, a Rainbow Six movie was in the works for a little while, but it kind of fizzled out, as well as a Splinter Cell film. But it Jack Ryan stuff does translate fairly well, or not Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy stuff does translate fairly well over into uh, film. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the Division is 100% based off of a Tom Clancy book, or if it's just something that they took from him and they put his name on it, something like that. So there's going to be some interesting things going forward. They haven't confirmed yet exactly what the story is going to be, if it's going to follow the game, if it's going to be something a little bit more original, if they're going to play around with it. Obviously, since it's mainly an online game, there aren't very many characters in the game that are just, actual NPCs. Most of them are characters that are created by people. So it would be interesting to see, kind of what characters Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal are going to play in this film. Um, So there's a lot of questions moving forward, but now that this movie does have a home with Netflix, it's one step closer to actually being made. And I think that's a good thing. I think that it's kind of good to expand a little bit, and I think Netflix has to in order to survive in the streaming war that's well, I shouldn't say coming. It's already happening because of what Disney is doing with the Disney Plus. So this will be interesting moving forward, but I would like to know your thoughts on the situation. Do you play the Division or the Division Two, which came out earlier this year? Do you like those games? Do you think that you would like to see a film adaptation of them? Are you wary of Netflix because of kind of the rocky and recent stuff that's been involved in that? Um, and do you think they can handle this in an appropriate way, where it's entertaining, where there isn't a bunch of unnecessary stuff injected into the film? Comment below. I like to know your thoughts. Make sure to hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?